Welcome. So we're going to do Unit 2, Lab 2, which is creating a shopping list. So in this lab, you're going to create tools for storing and accessing data. On the page, you'll create a shopping list for this project. So many computers have applications such as contact lists, playlists, calendars, reminders. Basically, they involve manipulating lists for information. They use the tools such as search, sort, change the item on the list, and we have worked with lists before on our gossip project. Uh, this is an example where we've used list out and Senora, Miss C, my cat, Hannah, Jake, and basically we said choose from a list of names from this list. So some things to keep in mind is that some programming languages use the word array instead of list. And on the AP exam, list expression in Snap looks like this. It would be written as this notation in the AP exam. So first thing we're going to do is click on this right here. And you know what? I'm taking a look at it right now, and I'm going to include one extra thing. I want to include a search on there. So I'm going to go to costumes, and basically I'm going to add in a sprite and add a search symbol on there. So go to Google, search PNG, and choose one of these and press Control Save. Once you've done that, download it, and you're going to upload it back onto our BJC costume. So I'm going to upload this one right now. Import, search symbol, and here you go. I'm going to edit a little bit just to make it a little bit more reasonable size. All right, so we're on our way. So this project contains buttons for the sprites, and the user will click on them, and they will control what happens to the shopping list. So let's look up right here. We have some buttons, but right now nothing happens when we click on them. So we have to program them and create that function. So here's an example of what it should look like. It looks like you're adding in items. Add, type item. All right, perfect. So right now we're going to initialize a shopping list of variables to store that information. So make a global variable called shopping list. Let's go ahead and do that. And one is already created for us. So there's a global variable of shopping list. So it says set the shopping list. So set the shopping list to empty, and you'll need the list block. Basically, this right here is not empty right now. This is just blank in there. So let's go ahead and set shopping list, and then you need a list in there, and you have to remove that empty block. So now it's so this is great right now. Basically, I have a list, and it's set to nothing right now. Okay. So on the AP exam, you're going to see set shopping list to, and this is how it will be notated in there. And remember, those back arrows basically mean set to. And then same thing goes for this if we have specific variables that we want inside there. So apples bread, it would look like this on the AP exam. So it says next part is you're going to use these blocks to add or insert other elements inside that list. So it says insert, puts the new items before uh, they're placed, you specifically, and then add puts them after the list exists, after the last existing item. So I like add because it feels like it just keeps on growing naturally. So I'm going to use the add block for this one. So another vocab review. Element is another name for an item on a list. Each element has a unique index or position on that list. And index is actually very important later on when we try to delete items from there. So here we go. Let's go over to add. To grocery list. And what we're going to do is you're going to ask it a question. And then you're going to get an answer. So I want to explore these two blocks right now. So we did the add item, and basically it says it adds it to the list. So it becomes the last, whatever item I put in there becomes the last item on the list. If I had used insert and used this block instead of the add one, I can say set it to the first item in there. I could say set it to the last one. If I said set it to number 2, I would always insert it to the second position, and it would have to rearrange everything else on the list. So this one, adding it just adds it to the bottom of the list. Insert, you can decide where on the list it goes. You can do random as well. All right, let's go ahead and see if this works. I click on it. What I would like to add? Apples. Okay. Okay, so it looks like it worked. All right, so far, our list is doing well. You're adding items on it. We're gonna do clear items on there. So let's go over to the clear button, and let's create a script. If I am touched, and then some things you're gonna do is you're gonna use a ask button. Ask. You're gonna use an if. And if else. And basically, you're going to have it ask, are you sure? And then next thing, if it says yes, then you will. Basically, if you say yes, so let's put some blocks out here. There's going to be an answer one at some point. There's going to be equals, and then some response. And you, if they say, you're going to say cleared, and then you're going to set whatever that list is to, and make it go back down to everything clears off of it. Let me think, is there anything else I need to do? Yes, there is. In case they don't answer with a yes, I want to clear this, you're going to respond if else. Basically, this is the else part. You're going to say it did not clear, not cleared. So here's the blocks that you're going to use. Play around with them. See if you can get them to fit together. And basically it's going to clear. You click on it. You're going to say, do you want this to actually clear? It's going to respond with, yes, I do want it to clear. Then it will clear. If you say anything other than yes, it's going to say, did not clear. All right, so now you should create a list that clears after you put all these blocks together. And you're going to test it, see if it does clear. So next part is you can remove items on the list. So if it says delete one of the items, the delete block takes the item of the list as input and removes it from that position. So basically, it looks at the first position and says delete that one. So on the AP test, number 2, it should look something like this. So right now it says write a script, delete item from the button, so that when the sprite is clicked, it will remove the entire number from the grocery. So basically it's going to look up and see which number it is, and then it will delete it. So let's try this out. When I'm clicked, we're going to use delete item. We're going to ask a question. you're gonna ask what item do you want to delete. It's gonna get an answer, and we're gonna use that delete one on here. So I noticed a bug in this when I clicked on add item. I said bread, and I click it again, and it deletes it. So what I'm gonna have to do is I have to go over this one and remove that from the even script. So it's in there. It says basically add list to shopping list. So let me try it again. Try milk. Try yogurt. So here's the next part to it. Um, if I enter in milk again, not so great because it shows up twice. Let me delete item number 4, and milk is gone. So I want to set in a code where it double checks and says, hey, do I already have it on my list? All right, so I've thrown some blocks out there. Basically, you're going to do an if statement. And take a look at this one. You're going to say, what item would you like to add on there? If we're going to say shopping list contains the answer, you're going to put down already on list. On list already. But if it doesn't, then you're going to add that item to the list. So here's all the blocks that you should be able to use, and that should double check and make sure that you actually have those items on the list. So we're going to use a very similar concept, but for the search. So for the search, this is going to be when I'm clicked. You're going to have an if statement. It's going to ask a question. Ask you what item are you looking for. And very similar to this one is if this item's contained in there, it should say something, or else it should say something else. So let's throw some other blocks out here so you guys can add them in there. Say on list or not on list. And then we're going to have contains on there. All right. Answer should be in there, and so should shopping list. You should use these blocks to search and say, is this item on the list? If it is, it says something. If it doesn't, then it should say not on list. So far, not so bad. Okay, so let's see in here. You guys should start constructing all these together. All right, so we have the search. We have the clear. Clear's not too bad. We have the add item. Next part is we're going to actually search for specific items that we want to delete. So when we do this one, it's looking at specific answers. I want the first position item deleted. I want the second position item deleted. What I want to happen is I want them to say what item, as in if I type in bread, it will delete the bread. I won't have to say number one position. So we're gonna have to create some code for that. We're gonna use very similar code to this. Okay, so this is expecting a number right here, and we have to use a block. So what we need to do is we're going to create a loop for this one, and it's going to be a for I loop, and I'm going to actually walk you guys through this one. So basically what's going to happen is this is I, and we want this for the length of the list. All right, so now we know this should constantly be changing. It's from 1 to length of list, and basically it's going to repeat. It's going to say if item on the list is equal to our answer, we're going to delete that item. From the shopping list. So I've created some code over here. It's going to say when the delete button is clicked, it's going to ask you what item do you want to delete. You're going to type in an answer. Then at first it's going to search that list and say, is it even on the list? So it can go bread, milk, water. If it's not on there, it's going to say, sorry, not on the list. But if it is on the list, so right now, it's going to, if it does contain the answer, it's going to run the list. It's going to say bread, milk, water. And it's going to say it's for length, which is 3. So 1, 2, 3. If the item of the shopping list is equal to the answer, so it's going to say, is it bread? Is it bread? Is it bread? We found bread. That is option number 1. So go ahead and delete that option from the list. So if it's water, we'll go, is it water? No. Is it water? No. If it's water, that is the third time it goes around. So it says that's the third number in the set. It is going to delete that third row. So I made a mistake. This one actually should be I. So if item I of the shopping list is equal to answer, delete I from the shopping list. So it's going to go say, it's going to run through it. Is item water? Okay, let's do water. It's going to run through. If is water even contained on the list? So go to the list. Does the list contain water? Yes, it does. Okay. It's going to run this 3 times. So because this is the length of the list, length is 3 right now. If item I of the list equals answer, delete that item. So it's going to run it. Is it water? Is it water? Is it water? Third time around, that's going to be the item on there, and it's going to delete it. So remember, for the for block, it will repeat this until it equals the length of the list. So if I have 4 times in here, it's going to repeat it 4 times. So it's going to go down. Number 1. Does the number 1 equal the list item that we're looking for? Boom, boom, boom. It doesn't. Okay, go back around. It's number 2 now. Number 2. Does the item contain the answer? No, it doesn't. Go back up. It's number 3. does the item equal the answer? And let's just say I put in water. It will say water. This is the third time around. Delete third time. Delete number 3 from the item list. And that's how it will delete it on there. All right, so let's run this script and see if it works. Let's first clear. You know what? I have to put all my code together, and then we will start this up. All right, here we go. All right, now fresh. Add items. Would you like to add items to shopping list? Okay, so I have 4 items on there. Next part is let's search. What am I looking for? Water. Let's do meat. Okay, I need to debug that one. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put in water. I'm gonna put in bread. This one in. It's gonna be. Let me think of something that's on there. Meat. Not on list. Okay, so that's perfect. Let's go ahead and delete an item. I want to delete soda. Soda is deleted. Let's delete milk. And it's constantly running through that loop, and it figures out which number it is on the list because it has to run it. Is bread on there? No. Then go to number 2. Is water on there? No. And then basically once it hits it, it knows it's on loop number 3. This must be number 3rd in the row. Delete number 3 in that row. All right, that's it for right now. I will see you guys later.